Okay, so we are looking at your question D, okay, which was done in a mixed manner because a lot of you have not been exposed to such a question. Okay, now when you're not sure, always analyze the question first. Okay, so firstly, you're asked to draw a sketch of a typical leaf of a tree. Okay, so just draw one leaf will do. There's no need to draw 2 or 3 leaves. Okay, and it's in the tropical rainforest. Because some of you draw 2 or 3 leaves, you're not quite dealing with the question. Okay, so after drawing them, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to annotate. Okay, what does annotate mean? Annotate means that you must point to your diagram and write a few lines. Alright, so what exactly must I write? I must annotate to show how the characteristics of this, that means what's so special about these leaves, help the tree adapt to the environment. So I not only must point out what's so special, I must also point out how it adapts to the environment. Okay, so for geography it's very simple, you know, we don't need to draw shadings and whatsoever, we just need to draw the shape. Alright, let me just show you an example. Okay, so you can just draw the shape. I didn't use the right tool, just a moment. Okay, so you can just draw the shape like this, page 111 in your textbook. Okay, so just draw the leaf. And then there's a drip tip. Drip tip is this extended thing that's coming out. And then it's broad. And I'm done. Okay? Then this is the thing. So I just need to draw this thing. I forgot what is this called. Okay, I'm not a science teacher, so I'm not very sure. Okay? And I'm done. Okay, now for most of you, some of you use pencil. It's good to use pencil, but please make sure you use your dark pencil. Some of yours, your drawing is so faint. Okay, I almost need to wear spectacles as a result of you. Alright, now drip tip is this thing that, you know, there's this pointed tip. Okay, why is this considered special? Well, to us it may not be so special because, you know, we live in the tropical region. We see such trees all the time. Okay, so why is it special to the rest of the world? Well, if you were to look at some of the trees, okay, like for example in the coniferous forest, which I showed you at the start of the term, okay, if you look at such trees, you will realize that the leaves are not broad. Okay, you will see that the leaves, like here over here, they're all shaped like needles. Okay, and you don't see this drip tip. Definitely you don't see this drip tip. You definitely don't see that it is broad. Okay, let me show you another example of a forest, another tree leaf from another forest. Okay, as you can see, it's definitely not broad. There's no drip tip, and it definitely does not look reflective and waxy. Okay, and in fact you can see it's very thin, like cabbage like that, like lettuce like that. Okay, whereas if you were to see a tropical tree and their leaf, okay, typically you see that it's very shiny, very waxy, okay, very broad, and there's this tip at the end, that's the drip tip. Okay, this is another example. You see the drip tip over here. Okay, so you must draw the drip tip and it's broad. Okay, so if you have drawn the correct picture, I will give you 1 mark for drawing. So you will see a D1 over there. Okay, now it's time to annotate. So there's 4 marks and remaining 3 marks. I just need to point out any 2 characteristics and explain them. You get the remaining 3 marks. Okay, so if I point out 2 characteristics, like for example, you want to point out that it is broad. Okay, 1 mark already. I want to point out maybe that it is there's drip tips. Okay, then there'll be 2 marks. So if I see 2 characteristics, I'll give it 2 marks. Okay, the last part reserved to those who explain. Now, this is not annotation. This is just labeling. Labeling means I just point and give the name. Okay, annotation means I must go on to write some more things. So what do I need to write? Look at the question. The question asks you to annotate how it helped to adapt to the environment. Okay, so I need to talk about why it's adapted. I need to talk about this is an adaptation. And I need to talk about what about the environment. Okay, so why do we have broad? Let me increase the font size so that's clearer for you. Okay, now some of you might be thinking, well, some of you very weird, okay, you label like this. Hello, your drip tip is in the air, is it? Okay, when you label, make sure your line touches what you want to point out. Okay, so Drip tip, how do they adapt? Well, a lot of you say that it drains water. Okay, and some of you say it prevents fungus from growing. Okay, so you talk about how it adapts, but you have not linked it back to the environment. So what is it about the environment here that caused it to need this drip tip to prevent fungus? Well, because of the high rainfall, temperature as well, which are things that help fungus to grow. Okay, so if you look at page 110, you talk about drip tips. Okay, allow rainwater to flow easily. What's the same idea as drain quickly? As long as the idea is there, we give you the mark. Okay, so you see that they brought up the environmental issue. Okay, because it's frequent heavy rain or high rainfall, so it will help to dry quickly, preventing the growth of fungi or bacteria. So any of these 3 points, I don't care how you phrase it, we'll give it to you. Okay, as an explanation. Likewise, why is the leaf broad? Well, as you can see, because of the competition. They didn't mention here, but I need to talk about it. Okay, so it's broad leaf because they want to have a large area to absorb as much sunlight. Why? What's wrong with the environment? Because the forest is high density. Okay, so so they have to compete with these trees for sunlight to survive. Okay, now I will demonstrate one extra one, which is the waxy surface. So waxy surface is the whole leaf, so you can just point to any of it. Okay, so waxy surface. Okay, so same thing. Why is it important? Well, many of you say that it helps to reduce water vapor loss. Okay, so what is the environment that's adapting to, as mentioned over here, because of the high temperature? Okay, so you need to link it back to the what the question asked for. Okay, then this is how you get the full marks. Okay, so these are just some possible answers. I just need any 2 sets will do. Okay.